Hi everyone, DrBiology here, and this video is about active transport. So again, it's related to transport across membranes, and it's part of your cell biology topic. So a key definition for active transport is that it moves substances from a dilute solution to a more concentrated solution against a concentration gradient. So this requires energy from respiration. So if you look at the diagram, you can see a low concentration of molecules here on the left hand side, and it's a dilute solution. Okay, and the molecules need to move through the cell membrane, and the way that they do that, they move through a protein channel, but they can only move through this protein channel if energy from respiration is available, and it will move it against concentration gradient to a more concentrated solution or a higher concentration of molecules. Now let's just do a quick recap of respiration. So respiration releases energy, and energy is needed to move molecules against concentration gradient. So aerobic respiration, to remind you, takes place in the mitochondria of the cell. So we can see an animal cell here, and mitochondria, that's where most of the energy is released in the process of respiration. And a reminder of the word equation of aerobic respiration that you will also need to learn for biology is that glucose is oxidized by oxygen, and it produces carbon dioxide and water, and it releases energy. So what I like to think about active transport is a hill. So here we have a hill, and you can see in diffusion and osmosis that there are more, there's more molecules, so a higher concentration, and it can move down the hill to a lower concentration, and it doesn't require any energy, any extra energy, and that's known as passive transport. Whereas we look on the right side here related to active transport, and active transport is a bit like taking molecules, or taking, if you try to take a rock and move it up a hill, you would need to use lots of energy, and that's the same for active transport, because you're moving particles or molecules from a dilute solution or a lower concentration to a more concentrated solution against a concentration gradient. So it's a bit like trying to move a rock up a hill, and you're going to require energy from respiration to do that. So to recap, active transport does require energy. Particles move against a concentration gradient, and the energy is needed to move molecules from a low to a higher concentration. Now, in your exams, they might ask you to look at certain examples. There are two examples mentioned in the specification. The first one is plant root hair cells. So you would have studied that earlier in cell biology. And you should remember some key features of root hair cells are that they have a large surface area, and also they have thin membranes. So as it says here, mineral ions, they are found in soil, usually in more dilute solutions than inside the root hair cell. So active transport allows the plants to absorb the minerals from a very dilute solution against a concentration gradient. Now, the root hair cell, it has a large surface area, which is an advantage, but it also contains lots of mitochondria that releases the energy from respiration for the process to work. The second example is the small intestine, or the gut. Okay, and sometimes there is a more dilute concentration of sugars in the gut than the blood. So this diagram shows inside the gut here, so there's a lower amount of glucose, whereas in the blood there's a high amount of glucose. So active transport allows sugars or glucose to be taken into the blood against concentration gradient, and this stops us starving, and it provides glucose for respiration in cells. It's really important that we don't waste any glucose. Basically, you don't want any glucose being wasted, so you want to absorb it into your blood. If there's too much glucose in your blood, and obviously it will be stored in places like liver or your muscles. Okay, so very quick review of active transport. It's as simple as that. What you will need to do though is, if you've done diffusion, osmosis and active transport, you need to look at a comparison between the three. So I'm going to be doing a video shortly to compare those three types of transport across cell membranes. I hope you found this video useful. If you have, please do subscribe and remember to put on your alert for new videos that I will be posting shortly. So thank you for listening, and I will see you soon.